What's happening? So here we are, we're doing our test run. We are halfway through, and so far it seems as though it's doing pretty good. So whenever I filled up, I locked the gas handle in place and let it stop on its own. Then I did it one more time, let it stop again, and then I didn't go any further than that. So after we get this, we're about to turn around now, so we are headed back to the gas station we filled up. We're going to get our numbers, see how many gallons we used, and then get all of our digits and see where we're at. So I won't bore you guys with the cruising details because we're literally just driving around trying to get you guys some data. So this is the original, this route that we're on is the same route that I had initially took whenever we got our baseline numbers. So try to get as close as we can to as perfect as possible for everything being the same. Of course, can't really account for traffic and temperature, air pressure and all that stuff, but traffic's been about the same. So we've been running about between 75 and 85 miles an hour depending on traffic. I've been holding 80 for the most part, so we'll see where we're going. I'll see you guys in a minute, and thanks for watching. See you in a few. What's going on, guys? So here I am, finally getting back to y'all with my updates on how things have gone with the Monster Ram air intake, the Banks cold air intake, and the boost tubes. So overall, I'm very impressed. Okay, the truck's throttle response has increased tremendously. I don't even have the programmers on here at all yet. This is just strictly increasing the airflow on these with these parts specifically, and it's like night and day. A lot of you have asked, and I appreciate all the questions. I enjoy answering them. It has really improved the drivability of this truck overall. It really woke it up. So I can only imagine getting the Derringer tune on this thing and the pedal monster. It'd probably be even crazier. Right now it's a lot of fun to drive. So I will say this, with it being a lot more fun to drive, it will burn more fuel. So if you drive it moderately, like, you know, just around, you know, doing the highway and stuff and keeping it pretty minimal, you will see a lot more increase than what I did. But I drive pretty heavy, so I'm having a lot of fun driving my truck more so now. But I just took a trip to San Antonio, which is about 3.5-4 hours from where I live, and that was what I was waiting to do before I came to you guys, because I wanted to get some good hard numbers, but including my test run. So let's get into the numbers real quick and go over some baselines. So before the upgrades, my truck dash was reading 19 miles per gallon, which is pretty decent. I did an 88.8 mile round trip. After the initial fill up, when I went back to fill up my truck after the first run, I feel it took about 4.801 gallons to fill up after my initial top off before the run. On average, I was getting about 18.496 miles per gallon after breaking down the distance and the amount of fuel I used to fill up. My total time driving was 1 hour and 20 minutes there and back. After the fuel went up a little bit. So after my initial top off, when I went back after the test run after the upgrades, it was 4.676 gallons, so a total gain of 0.125 gallons burned less after the upgrades. I was doing 85 miles an hour the entire round trip, so it was really good, with a couple variances with traffic and stuff, but I was sticking between 80-85 miles per hour. I drove the same distance, 88.8 miles. My dash was reading 19.5, and before my dash was reading 19, so it's a 0.5 mile per gallon increase just by the computer on the truck. On average, I was getting 19. So on average on the other one, I was getting 18.496. So overall, fuel mileage has increased. I'm not overly impressed with how much it increased. However, I do like that it did go up. It didn't go down. I will say this, if you do run with cruise control, you will see a little bit better increase in mileage with that as well. So there's not as much fluctuation on the gas pedal. You will allow your truck to just kind of stick in one spot. It'll keep it consistent for you, and you will see a much better increase on mileage just with that as well. So my round trip to San Antonio, I was running about 85 the whole trip, all freeway, getting about 19.5, and in some instances 20. We were going against the wind on the way up there, so it was a headwind. We were fighting, and we're still getting decent gas mileage. There was a big storm coming through, and it was just beating my truck as we were driving into San Antonio. Same thing home, on the way home, same distance, same amount of mileage, about 19 and a half, depending on the areas. Some cases we were hitting 20. So that's good. Overall, I'm impressed. This, if you have one of these trucks, 3/4 ton truck or bigger, and you're getting 20 miles per gallon, that's better than some of these other trucks that are out there that are running gasoline. So can't be mad at it. Again, all the questions you guys have asked, I love them. I appreciate all the input. Thank you all for being so patient on waiting for this video. I just want to make sure I had all the facts, I had all the data that I could get to give you guys some quality information. I will say this overall, do I think that these upgrades are worth it? It depends on your perspective, right? If you're looking to get an astronomical amount of mileage out of this, then probably not, okay? If you're looking to increase the overall drivability of your truck, see a little bit mileage increase and a little bit more power increase, absolutely, 100%. These things, you can't go wrong with Banks equipment. It's the best out there on the market. As you guys have probably seen, Banks has released a couple videos going over the grid heater failure. There was a shop that they had a truck come in that had a stock grid heater, and the bolt fell off in the intake side, which led to some pretty serious damage. And that in itself, for me, gives me peace of mind. I plan on keeping this truck for quite some time, and putting on the mileage and stuff like that, that's where you can see that failure, and then you could be looking at thousands of dollars worth of repairs where you could have fixed it with just $1,200. So I think it's worth it for that, especially for that purpose right there. I think overall, yes, this is totally worth the money. Again, depends on what you're looking at. For me, it's awesome. I think it's great. I love how my truck drives. I love how it feels like it has more power. And we don't even have any computer tunage on this at all. It's just, like I said, we're just increasing the airflow, all right? So in turn, you increase airflow, you increase fuel flow, right? So that's another problem that could potentially lead to burning more fuel. The more you drive, the more fun you have, the more fuel you're gonna use up. So it's just, take it with it what you will. I would highly recommend these products to anybody that is looking to upgrade their vehicle. If you want the best on the market, go with Banks Power. They got the best, okay? So I will say this. I put these parts on my truck around, I think 10,000 miles, and I'm at 15,522 now. So I've been running it for a little bit, and no complaints, none whatsoever. So that's what I got for y'all today. I am going to create a video going over how to remove the air intake, the filter, and clean it, and so on and so forth, because I did have a question about that, and I appreciate you asking that question. It's very simple. Banks just released a video on how to pull it out, clean it, re-oil, and install back. I'm going to review that first, see if there's anything that they may have missed that I think may be easier to explain, and then I'll drop my video going over how to do it for the 5th gen Dodge Cummins. Other than that, there are some updates and little lessons learned that I would like to share with y'all. So when you're looking at the boost tubes, okay, I installed the driver's side boost tube upside down, and something just did not seem right with me. I kept looking, and it seemed off. Obviously it was, because it's upside down. But what I noticed was wrong was whenever I was looking at the collar that's going from, the rubber boot that goes from the boost tube to the throttle body, I would get it lined up where it was perfect, and then after I ran the truck for a little bit, it would get cocked, and it was almost like it was slipping off. So that was a key indicator right there, something was wrong. So then I'd come to find out, pulled the boost tube out, flipped it over, and now it stays in line, doesn't move. So if it seems like after you start your truck and you run it and everything kind of shifts into place and it doesn't look like it's a nice straight line, it's probably upside down. So take with that what you will. If you have that problem like I did, it's really easy to fix. It can be a pain to pull out that boost tube with everything installed, but it can be done. I was able to do it. Just kind of be careful if you have your stuff powder coated, just kind of finagle out of there and then flip it, put the boots back on, drop it back in, tighten down your bolts. Other than that, the diff cover is going strong. Had no problems with that. I don't think I'll ever see an issue with that because it's a very superficial part, but I have peace of mind knowing that my rear gears are going to be in perfect shape with the new with the new AMSOIL gear lube and the Banks diff cover. So other than that, guys, I've already covered some other updates and how-tos. I haven't had any problems with my radiator hoses, which is a nice thing. After I fix that, everything's running smooth. So stay tuned for my other video. I'm gonna do it, like I said, I'll be doing the how to remove, clean, and update or change your air filter if you need to for the 5th gen Cummins on the Banks cold air intakes. That's what I got for you today, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I will put all my data down in the comments or in the bio below. I'll list everything out in the description, kind of break it down how I've kind of factored everything, and then if you have any questions about it, just give me a shout. Thanks for all the comments. Love you guys. All my new followers, thank you so much. That's really awesome. Appreciate the love that you guys like the content. I will do everything I can to keep the content coming. I do have plans for future upgrades coming, but at the moment, they haven't released the Derringer yet for the 5th gen Cummins. They have not released the new, they have not released the new, what's it called? Oh my goodness. The intercooler. They have not dropped that yet. They have not dropped a couple other things that I would like to get for this truck either at Banks. So as soon as those items drop, I will be looking into getting those as well and dropping those upgrades in. And as I get them, you already know, putting the installs on the videos, I'm creating install videos, dropping them on YouTube. So stay tuned, guys. I am going to be doing some more stuff. I do like to do custom woodworking and stuff like that, so I'll be dropping videos on how to build stuff as well. If you like that, awesome. Again, thank you all. I appreciate it. Love you. See you next time. Have a great day.